I'm a big reader, so I'm so excited that the Seattle Public Library is joining us now to share 6 of their top reading picks for fall. Librarians Misha Stone and Jay Singer are here with me now. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to start off strong with the first book here. Who's telling me about Greta and Valden?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know people are always looking for funny books, and Greta and Valden absolutely meets that. Written by Maori author Rebecca K. Riley, it takes place in Auckland, New Zealand, and follows the titular Greta and Valden, who are siblings, roommates, and queer 20-somethings navigating their messy, romantic, and familial relationships. Case in point, Valden is still reeling from his breakup with his uncle's husband's brother.
Okay, say that 3 times fast. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Greta is in love with her colleague who doesn't even know her last name. And
Perfect.
then we've got their Maori mother and their refugee Russian Jewish father, and it's kind of a Schitt's Creek mix of family hijinks. And mixed in with all of the laugh out loud humor, you've also got some real identity exploration and plenty of pining and searching for love.
Oh my gosh, that sounds right up my alley. When you said Schitt's Creek, you had me. Up next, The Prospects by Katie Hoffman.
Yeah, so speaking of love, The Prospects is a baseball romance, perfect for closing out another Mariners season and
Cross your
hoping
fingers.
we make the playoffs. Yeah, it follows Gene, who's the first openly gay, openly trans professional baseball player, and he plays for the Beaverton Beavers, who are the farm team for the fictional Portland Lumberjacks. He loves his job, but when his college teammate Luis gets traded to the team, the two of them have to navigate their complicated past and their palpable chemistry both on and off the field.
Ooh, okay, that might be a good one too. The Light Eaters. I'm loving all of these picks so far, you guys.
Yeah, so this one is nonfiction by climate reporter Zoe Schlanger. And she was feeling really depressed, having to report constantly on horrible climate catastrophe news, and then became really fascinated in the world of plant behavior. And this book is the product of that exploration. So she delves really into the complexities and controversies and all of the wild abilities of plant life on Earth, talks about how plants actually change their chemical composition to make them less tasty to predators, or how stroking your houseplants can make them more resilient.
Whoa.
Yeah, and Schlanger argues that plants have their own form of intelligence that's totally distinct from, but no less complex than human or animal intelligence. And I think after reading The Light Eaters, you'll agree.
Okay, there we go. You said it first. And Misha, we're going to you now, right? I Was a Teenage Slasher.
Yes.
That's your first one?
Yes, so it's spooky season is almost here.
So true.
So what better way to start it than with a slasher story? And if you're not aware, Stephen Graham Jones is an Indigenous horror writer who loves the slasher. Okay, he also loves hair metal. And there's a great Spotify list to accompany this book, just going to say.
Ooh.
But this is one of those books that really brings those passions together in a really beautiful way. It's set in 1989 La Mesa, Texas. We meet Tolly Driver and his good friend Amber Dennison on the eve of the Cool Kids Party, so the party right before senior year. Things go off the deep end in a way that'll change their lives forever. Because here's the thing, every slasher has an origin story, and this is Tolly's. He takes you behind the mask in a way you'll never forget. And it's one of those books that is a little campy, a little gory, but also has just beautiful coming of age heart really in it. If you enjoy this, you're also going to love his trilogy, which is the Indian Lake trilogy. Starts with My Heart is a Chainsaw. And there's just a lot of great horror out there. We're starting a horror section at the Downtown Library, FYI. But we're always happy to help you find more horror reads. So again, spooky season doesn't need to just be in October. Could be all year round, but this is a great way to get started.
Oh my gosh, and are we switching gears now from the cover of this book?
Yes, we are. This is a mystery. So if you like mysteries that are a little slow burn, where getting to know the characters and seeing the story through their perspectives is just as riveting as figuring out what happened, then this is a book for you. It's set in 1975 at a remote camp in upstate New York. It's run by this wealthy family, the Van Laars, and it starts with the disappearance of a camper. So a camp counselor goes out one night when she's not supposed to. She thought someone else was covering for her, and they find an empty bunk the next morning. And it just so happens that that missing camper is 13-year-old Barbara Van Laar from that wealthy family. And her 14-year-old brother Bear had disappeared 14 years before and never was found. Yeah, so it's gripping.
These
and like
tragedies like twice with the family.
Yes.
Okay, this
Yes.
is gonna be one
Yeah.
I feel like that I'd be obsessed with.
It keeps you guessing, and it's just one of those slow burn literary pot boilers that you can't stop turning the pages.
I might hide this
Yeah.
over here while we get to your last pick. Stories are weapons. Tell me about this one.
Yeah, so for your nonfiction reader, Book Riot actually called this book out recently as a book to read before the election, and they're so right. It's so timely. And it's about, so many people have heard about psychological warfare, AKA psyops and propaganda, but few know about how its history and how it's really informed American history and its relation to science fiction. One of the US government officials who started psychological warfare is a man named Paul Linebarger, who also wrote science fiction under the name Cordwainer Smith. But what this really does is help you look at 200 years of history, how psychological warfare used to be used in wars abroad against enemy combatants, how it's being used internally against Americans. And so it shows you how to both like identify it, how not to be duped by it. And Annalee Newitz is a science and science fiction writer that knows how to just really inform you while also galvanizing you. And it shows you the ways in which tools that are used to divide us can be used to unify us as well.
You guys, like, I don't know. I have chills listening to all of these descriptions, and I'm sure the viewers do as well. I'm such a huge reader. So thank you for giving me lots of options on that. And if you have one missing, you might know. I promise I won't steal from you all. Thank you for being here.